for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on The Zone. This is JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This 2025 Masters Update, live from Augusta, is brought to you by Zions Bank, Black Desert Resort, and Siegfried and Jensen on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. JJ and Alex. Our program is brought to you by G2G Bars. All natural ingredients and no preservatives make the G2G Bar the perfect protein bar. In fact, they're handing them out by the dozens out here on the Plaza here. I'd like to say that we brought – you know what, Sly? Why not? A little viral marketing. I'll do it. Come on down. We're providing some G2G bars for you. And look, we're the home of the we're the home of the G2G bars. They're our title sponsor. They just so happen to be also a partner with the folks over here at the hockey club and the Jazz. So, yeah, it helps. But
great bars. We love them.
Phenomenal.
What's your favorite flavor?
The chocolate peanut butter. All right. Not that I know.
Nonchalantly.
I didn't have to think about it. Yes. Let's kick things off here. The top of the hour brought to you by Trajan Wealth, TRAJAN Wealth.com. Also kicking off your 5 o'clock hour. He is Bob Casper. He, of course, is Real Golf Radio host. He and Brian Taylor, BT, do a phenomenal job of covering this Masters. It's their 25th that they have covered together. And then I won't mention all the years on top of that Bob has done as well. But Bob Casper joining us live after the first round of the Masters. Justin Rose had himself a day there, Bob. That was quite a showing on a Thursday.
Yeah, he played some great golf, and he talked about it in his press conference when he came in to meet with the media after the round, and he said he just got off to a good start, made a nice 25-footer that kind of settled the nerves, and then followed that up with a birdie. That was at 1, and birdie at 2, and a birdie at 3, and he got to 3 under par pretty quick, and just kind of kept it going.
You know, when we were talking about with Brian yesterday, how important it is to get a good start at the Masters. I mean, that goes without saying, but in particular this tournament, if you can get yourself in the top 10 after the first day, the odds of you making it into the top 10 by the end of the tournament are pretty good. Yeah. Why is it that that's the case on such a difficult golf course? And of course, the course showed today how difficult it can be. You had a mix of low scores and guys who are, starting to struggle. And man, I don't know how many Masters I've watched on TV, probably, between 30 and 35 of them myself. But guess what? I just get fooled by those greens. They're so hard to see on TV anyway, but you get so fooled by the greens, and I go, these poor pros who know everything about golf, and they know these greens, and yet it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you practice. It is so hard to dial in those putting surfaces.
Yeah, Justin Rose, 3 clear of Corey Connors and Scotty Scheffler and Ludwig Aubert at 4 under par, and then Tyrrell Hatton and Bryson DeChambeau at 3 under par. Rory McIlroy was interesting. You're talking about those things that you don't see on the golf course that are extremely tough, and one of them is the 15th hole. That green slopes away from you towards the pond when you get over the green, and that's where Rory was in 2. He was at 4 under par, and he just got a little too aggressive with the pitch shot. It ran past the hole, down and off the green into the water, and he ends up making double bogey there and another double bogey on the 16th hole to finish it even par for the tournament. He gave away a beautiful round when he was tied for second, and it's really, really frustrating. What you don't see on television is the slope and the undulation that are in these greens, and where Rays Creek is on. Predominantly, the grain of the grass goes towards Rays Creek. So anytime you've got something going from the upper property down to the lower property to the south, to the southwest, then you know that that the putts are going to roll a lot faster. And then you combine the undulation and the slopes in the greens, it becomes even more and more difficult. But it's the type of golf course where you can score. You can score really well. And you could take advantage of some things, but it's the type of golf course, if you get out of position at all, just a little bit, you kind of have to be not as aggressive and be more smart and try to make a par and keep things going and move on, which Rory wasn't able to do.
I watched that stretch of Rory. I think he was in one of the featured groups that I was streaming at the moment.
Yep.
Between 7 and 10, and he birdied 8 and 9, and it was such a good stretch. And you were like, oh, he's kind of feeling something right now. And he was going. Then he got and then he got a birdie at 13. And you're going, okay, he's 4 under. I mean, his big struggles have been these Thursdays. How can you come back from a 6-stroke deficit after day one? And again, even par is not, I watched Justin, or I think I watched, it was Justin Thomas maybe last year or the year before. That Thursday's been a problem for him too. I saw him card, I think, a 76 on one of the Thursdays and a 75 on another. And being in that +3, +4 range is just so hard to come back from. Is even par after day one, that's not a total disaster though, right?
No, it's not a total disaster, but he's looking at what he did in his 2 out of his last 4 holes, and that's not going to sit well with him tonight. But he'll come back out tomorrow. He'll reassess, and hopefully he just gets right back on the horse and he shoots a really, really good score. Tony Finau shot 3 over today. Probably very disappointed with what he was able to do, but you know what? The average cut line score is around 3 to 4 over par every year.
Yeah.
So Tony's not out of it. I remember one year I was here with my dad and we were watching, and I think Curtis Stream shot maybe 78 the first round, and he came back with a 64 in the second round and got to 2 under par, and then he shot another really good low score like 66 or 64 and was leading the golf tournament going to the last day and ended up losing the golf tournament to Seve Ballesteros. But you can play yourself out, but you can also get yourself back into it if you have a good round in round 2.
I was watching, too, Ashke Bhatia, who's an interesting story because he's a guy who is the very first drive, chip, and putt participant at the Masters. They have so much video now of these guys, and it's not that long ago that not like he's put on much weight since then, but an absolute just like gangly 12-year-old out there participating in that drive, chip, and putt, and then here he is playing in the Masters in his second Masters, but he's also 2 under, and he's one of these guys to me that I'm like, he's pretty crafty out there, which is what you have to be on this course.
Yeah, the interesting thing in that you brought him up, but he and Ludwig Oberg played with Rory today. Ludwig was even par for the tournament through 11 holes, and he made 4 birdies coming in from that point, and he finished at 4 under par.
Tied for second,
Yeah, Bhatia was 2 over par through 12 holes, and then he was 1 over par after 16, and he birdied 17, 18, or 16, 17, and 18, and was able to get in the house at 2 under par, where Rory kind of shot himself in the foot with those 2 double bogeys. But Akshay Bhatia is a great player. He won his first event on the PGA Tour a year ago in San Antonio that got him into the Masters, and he's not a guy that is intimidated by being in the big spotlight, being in a group with both those guys, Ludwig Oberg and Rory McIlroy, both in the top 10 in the world. Great, phenomenal players. Akshay Bhatia is a great player, and it was really, really fun to watch him today.
Bob Casper, Real Golf Radio. You can hear him every Saturday right here on the KSL Sports Zone in the morning, and he and Brian Taylor do a phenomenal job. And obviously, Masters Week is one of those set key pieces that they do every year from Augusta. Bob, what does Friday look like for you? What's kind of the wisdom on a Friday typically going into round 2 of the Masters tournament?
Well, the guys that are down the leaderboard a little bit are guys that are going to have to go out and they're going to have to get a little bit more aggressive and try to make some birdies and get back in the golf tournament. Make sure for sure that they can stay inside the cut line, like Tony Finau, like John Rahm. Those guys are at 3 over par. You've also got Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth. Those guys are at 1 over par. All those guys need to shoot under par tomorrow to make sure that they get in inside the cut line and are able to, to score the last 36 holes. But guys like Scheffler and Aubert and Bryson DeChambeau and those guys they just need to continue to do what they're doing. I was watching Scotty Scheffler today, and he does really, really well. He made 2 long putts on par 3s today on the 4th and the 16th hole, but he scores well on the par 5s, and he was able to birdie the 2 par 5s on the front 9. Didn't birdie one on the back 9, but he got to 4 under par, and it almost seems like it was a very uneventful, kind of nonchalant, kind of lazy 4 under par round, and here he is at the end at 4 under par and tied for second. So I expect more of that from Scotty Scheffler. I think he's the guy that's the cream of the crop right now. And Justin Rose, of course, he's been in this position 5 times. He's been leading after the first round 5 times, and he's yet to finish the deal off. But he's got some really good players coming behind him.
Bob Casper, he's live at Augusta, and he's going to be out there all weekend long. And I'm sure we're going to be able to dip in with you guys over the next few days and then get a full debrief also next week as well. So we appreciate you joining us and giving us those updates down there from Augusta. And it's so much fun to watch. I don't know if there's a person that I'm more jealous of on the entire planet than you and BT this time of year. When I see one, I love the game, but I also just love being able to follow the Masters. It's so fun to watch. But you know what? It's just a dream what you guys are able to do out there, and it's really fun to listen to on these Saturdays especially. So thanks for hanging out with us, man. We appreciate it.
We really appreciate it, and we enjoy coming on with you guys.
All right, there you go. Bob Casper, everybody, Real Golf Radio. He's, of course, live there at Augusta, and he's out there every year and gives us an idea of what's going on. And pretty cool that your dad's the Masters was one of the former Masters champions, too, in 1970. It's a pretty cool thing to be able to watch him go through all those memories and pretty unique insights from Bob and BT, obviously, who've been covering that thing for so long. By the way, we are right outside Delta Center, and there's a lot going on, of course, this evening as we're
E40.
What was that?
E40. It's the music, man. It's bumping.
Oh, I was like, Sly, we're trying to do a radio program. I don't need you jamming to some tunes out here, okay?
It's debate going on over here.
Listen,
it's a vibe out here.
It is. And you know what? They've been throwing stuff out to the crowd. You got a couple things going on. You have a couple of entrances. You have they're throwing stuff out to fans. They're giving out some food. They're hanging out here on the plaza, and it's just about as good of a time as you can get. And somebody told me too, I think they're doing some crazy deal in the team store, and so you're getting a lot of people who are going in for the buy one get one half off stuff across the store. So pretty dang cool. I haven't gotten the courage up to buy one of the game scored pucks that are in there. They have those in the store. Sly, there might even be one from the Winnipeg game that you were at. You want me to just go pop in and see if I can get a discount on one of those pucks that were scored during that game?
I know you got the juice. Make it happen.
I'm all, who scored this one? Give me that empty net goal, something like that. But listen, this has been a fun thing for us all year long. One of the people who's been able to give us draw the pictures for us here as to what's going on here at Delta Center and what's going on with this hockey club is our Utah Hockey Club insider for KSLSports.com. Cole Bagley, join us on the program. Cole, we are at the final freaking home game of the season. Can you believe it, man? It's bonkers.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, before we get into that, though, do you guys have any Google Play cards by chance? Or should I
hit up Folta, dude?
I texted him. He hasn't texted me back yet.
I think
use the spam number.
It could have been you. I saw the text come in, so I know he got it. It was while we were on the air because he got it and he did he gave me like a chuckle.
He left me on red.
He's like, no, I'm not gonna put up with this. But yes, you too could also get scammed, even if it's a game day. So we were talking about how October 8th till right now, just the journey that is over these months. What do you think the biggest thing is that's not the on ice stuff that you took away from this season so far? And I say so far, I mean this is. Obviously they got eliminated from playoff contention last night officially, and they got 3 more road games. But this is the party to kind of celebrate I was talking with one of my buddies over here, and he goes, "Look, I had to come out. I had to bookend this thing. I had to have the start of the season, then I had to have which was the party, and then the celebration of the season, which was this final home game with the Nashville Predators tonight."
I think this is the story.
Right.
You wouldn't know that this team got eliminated last night based on how many people are here. 2.5 hours before puck drop. They're excited. They're chanting "Veggie" out here. Like that to me is the story. Away from the players and the accomplishments, is just how Utah has been a perfect home for the National Hockey League. It's almost like it should have happened a long, long time ago, but now it's here. And it has just been injected into the veins, I think, of everybody in this state. You go to the grocery store, you go to the, you kids at school, like they are all wearing Utah Hockey Club, apparel, which is awesome. It looks like, Sly, you got
hey, you don't have to ask me twice. I was all in.
Is this Lamoureux?
No.
Oh, they made you. Did you make one?
Yeah, he made it. He sewed it himself.
Don't give Sly an opportunity, a window of opportunity, and I'm there.
It looks good.
Sly's middle name is Timu. No. He got the legit one, and he got it personalized with Sly on the back. Nice. And the number 10, of course you're going to freaking wear that.
He's like telling people, this guy's on the team. He's really good. I know him. We're related.
I was telling Coach last week, I'm like, if you need a guy for a fight, like,
there you go.
I got my jerseys.
I'm good. I just need a mouthpiece. I don't want to lose my teeth. That's the only thing I don't want. Otherwise,
No, listen, the NHL dental plan's pretty good. You'll be fine.
I bet they got dentists on the bench.
Yeah, they have to. This is one of those sports you better freaking bring the guy. And even just over the last few weeks, you've had guys hitting the mouth and hitting the nose.
Oh yeah, with puck, yeah.
Dylan Gunther, my kids are like, "What is he freaking wearing?" I go, "Well,
he's the bubble boy."
I go, "He got kind of hit in the nose, man. Man. You don't want to mess with that thing." And he's like, when he went into the penalty box the other night.
He lifts it.
He lifted it up, and I was like, "Oh boy, this is not a good look. This is not a good look."
No,
Dylan.
he should keep that.
He looks like
the bubble boy has an unmatched aura. It's amazing.
He looks like the guy from what's it called, the Monty Python and the Holy Grail that night, who flips up the whole thing.
Or Spaceballs when
he flips the whole thing up. He's like,
I can't breathe in this thing.
Yeah, no, he can't. Unmute. Yeah, so I do think that all of the things, every one of these players. I mean, this happens. We see it happen with the Jazz every year. The fans really connect with players, and every year the roster looks a little bit different. But what are some guys you look at and you go, no, these are anchors to this team going forward?
I mean, of course, Clayton Keller, the captain. A lot of people question if he was happy or not. I'm here to tell you that he loves playing in Utah. It means so much to him to not only be here, but to have the support and to wear the C on his chest. Mikhail Sergachev, who I think, him and Vejmelka are, arguably the MVPs of this season, and guys that, Bill Armstrong has, recently talked about how, Sergachev is the type of player that, they brought him in because they needed a number one defenseman, but they also needed a player that was going to help change the culture of this organization. And he is certainly going to help them create a championship culture, because he's not only been there, but it's just in his blood. It's in his, it's in his attitude. This guy does not settle for anything less. And then, of course, the two young guns in, Cooley and the bubble boy, Dylan Gunther. Those are two guys that I think are going to be, at a minimum, stars in this league. And, Gunther's locked up for another 8 years. I talked to Cooley this morning. He wants, he wants to be here long term. And so, those are guys that, you can cling to. And of course, Vejmelka, who has been just unbelievable between the pipes.
Oh, he's a star now. I want to get Alex one of those broccoli heads. I know he wants one. He's been staring at the guy.
I'm a hat guy anyway. So this is the when I
think they're on Amazon.
Listen, when I saw the guy come, when you see it in person, it's one of those things that's uglier in person. Where you see it on TV, you're already like, well, that's a choice, and then you see it in person, you go, I'm glad he has somebody who loves him.
Yep.
But I want to talk about.
I think she wears one too.
She does.
Yeah.
She does. Yeah.
Mike was on earlier, and he was talking about you'd see the huge difference from the first game to this last game with the crowd, the community. Look how many people are wearing jerseys. Look at Sly. He's got one, right? But, how has this progression of this season been from your eyes and seeing the crowd in it? As you said, this is the last game. As you said, you would know we got eliminated last night, but I feel everybody I've talked to absolutely loved this. What has it been from your eyes, player perspective, crowd perspective, traveling, this whole season in a nutshell?
Yeah, I mean, I think fans have just been completely taken with the NHL product, which of course is, I mean, I'm obviously biased, but I think, of the top 4 leagues is the most attractive sport, just because of what it is, right? The culture of the NHL. We were talking about guys taking pucks to the face. Those guys came back in those games.
Mm-hmm.
Clayton Keller got 20 stitches inside and out, came back, scored a goal, and got an assist to help them beat Winnipeg earlier in the season. Dylan Guenther needed like 8 or 9 stitches. He was out for 12 minutes, came back and played. So
right.
I think,
are you actually in the NFL, in the NHL, if you don't get stitches during the game?
What's funny is that when a guy gets hit in the mouth and they're bleeding on the floor or the ice, in any other sport, you kind of go, all right, well, they're going to go out and they're going to lock that guy down. He'll go back to the locker room. We'll see him next game. It's like, no, there's no such thing. You already know in the NHL, like, a guy gets hit, and I think I was watching one of the national broadcasts, and they were like, he'll be back in a couple of minutes. And like, it wasn't even a question. It wasn't like, I bet you might see him again. It was like, he's going to go get that thing looked at, get the throw some cotton swabs in the old nose and maybe get a stitch or two, and he'll be right back out on the ice. And they are.
I mean, Matthew Tkachuk won a Stanley Cup a season ago with like a bruised or a broken sternum.
Yeah, which is very painful.
Insane.
I mean, my heavens, these guys are tough. Cole, as we wrap this up here, home game tonight, and the Preds are coming in, and they've had a massively disappointing season compared to what the expectations were, and based off of the money that they spent before they came into the year. So 64, 65 points that they are. I mean, they're 20-something points behind the Utah Hockey Club, and people thought they were going to be one of the 3. I mean, of all the teams that are the 3 triple-digit teams in this division, which is an extremely difficult division, I don't think people would have had pegged that the Preds would be next to dead last, almost dead last in this thing.
No, I mean, they're arguably the biggest negative surprise, I think, in the entire National Hockey League. This was a good team, a good playoff team a year ago, that looked at free agency, brought in some guys, brought in, Steven Stamkos, Marchessault, added it to Forsberg, and a couple other really good players, and it just came off the rails immediately. This is, I think you're kind of seeing 2 ends of the spectrum here. When Utah plays Nashville, you see a team that has hit the reset button, that is embracing that process, that is doing it well, that isn't getting greedy, that's sticking to, what they want to do, and they're making progress, as opposed to an organization that thought that, hey, we might be able to reach the top of the mountain with, some really good moves in free agency, and now it's gone really south. And so, like I said, it's 2 ends of the spectrum. It's a team with all the potential in the world moving forward, arguably the most potential in the National Hockey League, to a team that all they can do is look in the mirror and just go, what on earth happened?
Yeah. Well, they got 2 of these games against the Preds, this one, and then I think they wrap up the entire season down there at Nashville next week for the final game of the season. It's been an awesome one so far, and if you have not gone and read the bylines all year long from Cole Bagley, he's our Utah Hockey Club insider for KSLSports.com, and if you want to get to know this team a little bit better, it's a good way to do it. Awesome first season, Cole, man. Congratulations. It was awesome.
It's been a lot of fun, and Sly, you need to learn how to skate. We need to get you out to a drop-in.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know how to skate. I said we need, ice shoes next week.
The sandpaper on the bottom of the shoes. He'll do that. He says he'll do that.
I'll do it. I don't care. I'll figure it out. I'll practice.
Our next live show, let's do it out on the ice.
I'm all for it, man. I will absolutely go out there and embarrass myself. I have no problem.
Sly don't care.
All right.
If you're going to wear the jersey,
hey,
you got to learn how to play the sport.
As I said, I don't even need pads.
I want those padded shorts. Okay, I'm gonna go around with those padded shorts on. I want to tape up my shins.
Can you come to the broadcast tomorrow with the goalie gear? I want to see you with the.
Just ask Hans. He's got it.
Yeah, he does. He does. He did come out there.
You guys did not take it easy on Hans.
No, of course not.
I thought that was awesome. All right, Cole. Thanks, man. We'll chat with you again.
All right.
We'll come back. We got more to go. The Utah Hockey Club from the perspective of the super fan. We're going to chat with Matt, who is the Utah Hockey Club president of the fan club. We'll chat with him. He's got a tattoo of the Golden Knights on his arm and the Stanley Cup of the Golden Knights, and he's converted. So we'll talk to him, and we'll get a little bit of a vibe here outside of Delta Center, the final home game of this Utah Hockey Club right here this year. So more to go right here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars.
Don't touch that dial!
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
See how I have self-control?
Good for you.
I turned it down, buddy.
We were offered a cookie, and in full disclosure, Sly had 2 before I even. No.
They look delicious, man. They're breaking
I'm
apart
having
already.
one. Oh yeah, that's what they are. No, they're full of protein. That's why I'm.
Oh yeah.
They're part of the SLC fat loss
the
program.
protein cookies.
That's my kryptonite. You know why? They have the butterscotch chip in them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Let me not get excited.
Yeah, not made of butter nor scotch. It's a butterscotch chip. We are out here on the Plaza, out here at Delta Center. The sun beaming through our broadcast booth now, but you know what? It's not really hot. We have a nice breeze. It's a beautiful spring day, and the Utah Hockey Club are going to finalize their season here at home tonight in the inaugural 2024-2025 season for the team taking on the Nashville Preds. The Predators, I love being able to talk about other teams. Like, what a massive disappointment, Sly. I just thought I expected so much more out of them this year. They're terrible. But now these are the types of things, these are the types of conversations that we have as a hockey town. And I'm interested to see over the next few games, when you get eliminated from the playoffs the night before, and we knew that the odds are going to be very, 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 very low. It's still awesome to see the fans out here coming out in force, hanging out, supporting the team. And I would imagine that this team is also just going to still come out with bells on, man. And these young guys want to get goals. Sergey the other night was really funny, and he's like, "Yeah, I mean, passing is cute and everything, but I want to score more goals." I was like, "Gee, settle down. You got a goal. Like, you guys won 7-1. You guys got goals, and you scored the first one, which, by the way, has been kind of the calling card of the team over the last few games, which is score within the first 5 minutes, and that does well for you. I mean, that
start fast.
They've been starting fast. It's been good for them the last few games. Joining us on the program right now, Matt Russell, who is the president of the Utah Hockey Club fan club, unofficial.
The club.
The club clubbers. The club clubbers. They won't actually officially recognize you, which I thought was a shame.
Okay.
But you and your boy Boston are hanging out outside the stadium here. I happen to know you guys, and from the beginning of. First of all, you always talk to me about hockey, and you need to talk about hockey more, and blah blah. And I said, look, that's great, yeah, but maybe one of these years we get a hockey team. And I don't know what it was a few years ago. It was like, I think we actually might. But it seemed like baseball was maybe still in the lead in that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the quick turnaround last year. And you've been a Vegas Golden Knights fan from when the time they came to Vegas.
Yep.
But you grew up here, and you're a hockey guy. You grew up playing junior hockey, doing all that stuff.
Absolutely.
And you've been wearing the mountain blue and the rock black and the snow white all year long, or the salt white, I guess is what we call it. You've converted over fully to the Utah Hockey Club. How cool has that been, by the way, this year?
Dude, I mean, since day one, right? Draft day. It seems like just yesterday we were here doing this. But, yeah, it's I never thought I'd fall in love with a team like I had. Like, this is our team,
Well, why, though? Like, why this team? Why, is it just because they're here, or is it because there's something about this group in particular?
It's just about the group, man. They're all in. You don't see them take a shift off. Like,
right.
Yeah, they're out of the playoffs, but they're going to be working their tails off tonight. And they just don't quit.
I'm so proud of you for saying tails, by
There's-
the way.
there's
Good for
give
you.
and
It took some restraint. I promise you no F-bombs. I didn't say anything about A-bombs.
Yeah, there's got to be give and take with the players and the fans, right?
Yeah.
The fans got to support, but if you can feel it from the players, it makes you support that much more, and I think it's vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, even when they were in that slump, December, January, this place was still packed.
Oh, yeah.
They're slumping, but they're still going out there giving it their all in the dog days of the NHL. I mean, that's, the players talk about it. Like, it's hard to get up for 82 games, but they were out there, and to a fan, just watching it as a fan, I kind of watch it more analytically.
Yeah, you do.
But you can see, they're not taking time off. Josh Doan, I've never seen him take a shift off. I've never seen Gunther take a shift off. They're all in. I think that's part of the energy at Delta Center. They just feed off of that. And, us fans, we haven't let them down. We've been there through slumps and peaks and valleys, and I think they just kind of feed off that.
One of the things that I think you've mentioned to me a couple times as we've talked about this all year, I dip in with you almost every game about what's going on, and one of the things that you've brought up is like, yeah, we still have a way to go as like a fan base to try to kind of, learn the ropes and sort of. There's a little bit of an imposter syndrome I think that we get as fans where we're like, I mean, we're a hockey team, we're a hockey town, I guess. Like, it's going to take a minute. What are those things? What do we have to do to become legit? I was telling you about being down in Florida last week, or 2 weeks ago down in Sunshine watching the Panthers, and the guy was like, yeah, but we weren't full 5 years ago in here.
They weren't full 2 years ago.
And he goes, yeah, so it helps to win the Stanley Cup, but I don't think it takes that in Utah. Utah shows up for their teams. But what is it that the thing is going to kind of help us as a fan base kind of really embrace this team, do you think?
Winning. Everybody loves a winner, though, you know. But, I mean, like Bill Armstrong said at the beginning of the year, we want to be playing meaningful games at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the fans were like, playoffs, we're going to make the playoffs. But, I mean, here we are. Maybe we should have listened to Bill Armstrong, but they're playing meaningful games, And I think just as a fan base, just, man, like Ryan Smith building the rinks, just getting involved, go to watch parties, spend $1 and watch it on SEG. I mean, it's, I just want everybody to love that as much as I do, man. I think, it's catching on. Ticket prices on third, parties going up. Like, this is it, man. I think we're there.
Certainly from the fan base perspective, people are jumping on and they're loving it, and it's been a really fun ride. For you, the ride has been falling in love with the team and everything, but it's just 1 year in the books, and so – and I think everybody knows next year there's an expectation there. Do you look at that the same way? Do you go?
1,000%.
They got to be in this playoff.
Playoffs are bust.
Okay.
Playoffs are bust.
Nice. All right, so
bet playoffs next year. Probably plus 800. Maybe.
This guy.
He's talking my Vegas
I don't even know what
now.
that is.
Hey, tonight, quick plug.
Yeah.
Puck line -1.5. Gunther anytime goal scorer.
He said that's money in the bank.
I'm not going to say how to do it, but there it is.
That's money in the bank.
I don't even know what. You basically spoke another language. I didn't understand a word of that.
I had to get that in. I had to get that in.
So if you're seeing the future here, right? Of course, we got to change our name here in a little bit, or maybe not. Maybe we keep it Utah Hockey Club. But you just said winning, right? Mm-hmm. Like winning. How? I mean, this was a great season. I mean, from Arizona's year last year, they're transitioning, all the players moving, all the commotion, yada, 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 playing meaningful games at the end of the year. Where do you see this team? When can we – I'd love to have that. When can we expect a NHL Finals appearance or even a Stanley Cup win? Projection. You're giving money lines over here.
That's a 10-year vision right there, right?
I mean, as a reformed Vegas fan, Bill Foley said 5 years for them, or 6.
First year,
and they won it in 6. Why not say 6?
Not? Okay, they're spending the money. They're right there.
Hey, the sky's the limit with this group.
Matt, congrats, dude. This has been a fun year.
Absolutely.
It looks like Boston's pushing you around in this.
He wants to go eat. He wants. Hey, quick plug. Shout out Jackie Johnson. She did letters to Ingy. She's really the president of the fan group, and she's amazing. Special person. So quick shout out.
Awesome. Matt, thanks, man. We appreciate
it.
Appreciate it. All the awesome fans of the Utah Hockey Club. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We got tickets for us to give away. Caller number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE to get a 4-pack of tickets to the Utah Royals and the Portland Thorns coming up tomorrow at Utah First Field. 801-575-ZONE. We'll come back. We'll wrap you up and get you ready for Utah Hockey Club pregame. Coming up next right here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Best and worst brought to you by the good folks at the Doug Smith family of dealerships. Dodge, Ram, Chevy, Subaru, Kia, and now Mitsubishi. That's where we're going to be tomorrow in American Fork. Come join us. Sly, of course, appreciate his help with us today. Brant pushing the buttons here, and then our producer Alex in Salt Lake City. Many thanks also to the folks at ReadyWise. Be wise, be ready. Your partner in emergency preparedness is ReadyWise. Utah Hockey Club is right now on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.